citizenship. So first, looking at collaboration and communication, I wanted to know how they could fit into digital citizenship. So I turned to the International Society for Technology and Education. These ISTE standards are something that my school district has recently implemented, and in fact we're using the digital citizenship and the collaboration and communication standards on our new Common Core report card. So really looking at how you can be effective in using your digital citizenship, it shows that in this definition, the word ethical behavior really jumps out to me. And I think that ethics in our communication and in our collaboration are especially important as students are interacting with one another, whether it be communicating face-to-face or communicating digitally. So the emphasis that I really chose to look at was communication and collaboration. First of all, both these terms seem to be synonymous whenever Common Core is brought up, and it's so important that we're able to integrate these two skills into our classrooms. We want students to be able to communicate face-to-face, but now as we're moving into the incorporating 21st century skills into our classrooms, it's so important to now teach students proper ways to communicate and collaborate digitally. Looking at the ISTE standard where it's talking about communication and collaboration, students are needing to use digital means in order to communicate with one another, working collaboratively, and this could be in the same classroom, or even now we have the ability for students to be communicating with classrooms across the globe. And so what are some things that students should be able to do when they're doing this? I think that digital citizenship is the backbone in order to be an effective communicator and collaborator, especially when it comes to ethics. And when you're communicating face-to-face or collaborating in a group, it's certainly the way that you're conducting your mannerisms, your voice, your tone, your gestures. And so how can we convey some of those things when we are not in front of the person we're talking to or collaborating with? Looking back at the digital citizenship standard, there's certain additions to the standard, and this was one that was saying students are going to be able to use a positive attitude in approaching their communication and collaboration, that the way that they act is going to support the way that they collaborate. And certainly keeping in mind that students have a digital footprint, they need to be cognizant of the fact that what they are doing when they're communicating can be tracked down. I think and oftentimes when you're communicating face-to-face, things can be said that no one's going to have record of, but students need to be aware that anything they say can be held against them. This short video clip is from Common Sense Media. It's a 1-minute clip about the digital footprint and how students' actions online can come back to haunt them if they are abusing the privilege of communicating online. Just is a very short video that would be a great thing to show in order to engage students in a discussion about how they act when they are communicating online. There are certainly ineffective means of communication that crop up in classrooms. I think that cyberbullying is a major problem that is cropping up, invasion of privacy, and also plagiarism. Cyberbullying is something that teachers can talk to students about. I think that we're all pretty versed in talking to students about bullying in general, and now we just need to add in the setting of bullying online and knowing that there's a digital footprint they're leaving behind. Unlike actual face-to-face bullying, the proof is going to be there that they are conducting themselves in a manner that's inappropriate. Invasion of privacy, I think along the lines of, hiding behind a screen. There are things that people will say when talking online that they wouldn't normally say to a person face to face. And so, especially when giving feedback, when working collaboratively, it's really important that students are giving constructive criticism, keeping in mind that there is still a person on the other side of the screen. And then plagiarism. I think that it's so easy to copy paste when communicating and collaborating, and just that students are aware that they need to be representing themselves through their own thoughts and their own actions. Effective communication and collaboration can certainly be supported within the classroom. I think the teacher can really set the tone and promote interaction among students. I think it's practice in actual collaboration with students they might not necessarily be friends with is really going to get them attuned to working with people online who they might not know, and just feeding that comfort of being able to talk to one another and feed off one another's ideas. Ultimately, I think giving students the responsibility to practice ethics with communicating, and there's a bit of trust involved in that students are going to be able to that they won't be taking advantage of the freedom that's given. I think it's best to be proactive, but it's also, one of those things that we need to put into the hands of students and let them make their decisions and learn from their good choices and learn from their bad choices. And also, expectations can certainly be provided for students when they're giving electronic feedback, maybe through a rubric of what types of responses are appropriate, and that's not even along the lines of inappropriate language or bully language being used, but also that the responses given are thoughtful, and it's not just along the lines of agreeing or a smiley face or a winking face, that insightful comments are actually being shared. This article from Edutopia, you can click this link to follow this article, but it's really talking about what students need to know about communication and collaboration. Looking at these Common Core Anchor standards, it's evident that students need to be prepared to participate in a competitive 21st century world where business and careers are going to rely upon being able to articulate your thoughts and collaborate with peers, people that you're working with. So this is clearly why it is important that we are honing these skills in our classrooms at a young age. This article also gives some strategies to teachers about how we can start to implant these skills in students so that they are flawless in their ability to communicate and collaborate. Some technology that I personally use in my own classroom to facilitate communication and collaboration. I use forums. I use Padlet, Haiku, and Edmodo. Haiku and Edmodo are both a personal learning network that allows students do have the opportunity to communicate through a forum, and here's a screenshot of a Padlet wall in which my students could share notes that they were taking on a nonfiction text. They each were submitting independently on their iPad, and then their thoughts and comments would all appear on a shared wall. So all these students were Blizzard experts. And then they were later able to go back and see who found similar information, what information might have been different. This is a screenshot of my Haiku page for students. This happens to be on Digital Citizenship, and it's just a place where I can put videos that students can respond to. We have a discussion board right here, so they're going to be discussing these questions about what they think a good digital citizen is. Down here it got cropped out, but students are taking a poll on their internet usage, and then they can see the results in a pie chart and to make comments about what they're seeing in their classroom. And that is what I found about collaboration and communication in digital citizenship. Thank you.